Fabunmi of Oke-Mesi, the warrior storm. Fabunmi of Oke-Mesi was more than a warrior. He was a storm in human form. His name was known across Yorubaland, written in blood. He stood against Ibadan's cruelty, but his journey began with a terrible crime that sparked his fury. The oppression of Oke-Mesi. To understand Fabunmi's rage, we must go back to 1878. Oke-Mesi suffered under Oyepetun, Ibadan's ruler in the town. His men, the Ajeles, were not just tax collectors. They were tyrants. They seized land, gold, wives and daughters at will, leaving a trail of despair. Then they went too far. During the Erinleodo festival, a night of prayers and celebration, the Ajeles arrived. Drunk with power, they stole the food, drinks, and even the women. One of them was Falola, Fabunmi's wife. She had come to serve the feast, but to the Ajeles, she was nothing more than a plaything. She escaped, trembling with fear, and found her husband. With a voice shaking with terror, she told him what had happened. Something snapped inside Fabunmi. His breath burned with rage. His fists tightened. His vision turned red. He did not speak. He grabbed his sword, and he walked into the night. The first blood Fabunmi went straight to Oyepetun's house. He did not knock. He did not wait. He killed everyone he found. The walls dripped with blood. The night filled with screams. When he reached Oyepetun, he showed no mercy. With one swing of his sword, he ended him. The streets ran red. Ibadan's men, sensing doom, fled from Oke-Mesi like rats escaping a sinking ship. But this was just the beginning. The Kiriji War, fire across the land. News of Fabunmi's actions spread fast. Across Ekiti, Ijesha, and Igbomina, people cried out, "No more Ibadan rule!" War drums sounded. Warriors sharpened their blades. Fabunmi stood at the front of the army, his sword still stained with blood. He was no longer just a man, he was vengeance itself. His warriors, the Ekitiparapo, moved from town to town, cutting down Ibadan's forces. At Ikirun, they faced Ibadan's full army. It was a massacre. Blood filled the rivers. Bodies piled up. The Ekitiparapo lost the battle. Some wanted to surrender, but Fabunmi refused. "If I fall, let my name be cursed forever," he swore. He held the army together. Defeat turned into defiance. Then, salvation came. Ogedengbe joins the war. Ogedengbe, the warlord of Ilesha, arrived with his army. A legend in his own right, Ogedengbe was known for his cunning strategies and fearless warriors. Fabunmi, knowing war, stepped aside and let Ogedengbe take command. Together they changed the war. Ibadan's army trembled. For years the war raged. Towns burned, fields turned to graves. Then, finally, after relentless bloodshed, the war ended. Ibadan's rule was broken, the final betrayal. Fabunmi returned to Oke-Mesi as a hero. He had won. He was a legend, and legends deserved a throne. But the gods are cruel. His own people refused to make him king. They whispered that he was too proud, too powerful, too dangerous. Fabunmi refused to accept this. He swore to take the throne by force. But while he planned, his own warriors became monsters, raiding villages, stealing, and becoming the very evil he once fought. Then the British came. They arrested Fabunmi and took him to their officer in Odo-Otin. They warned him, the days of warlords are over. Defeated and humiliated, he returned home. But one kingdom still wanted him. The end of a warrior. In 1902, Imesi Ile called him back. They made him king, but the gods had not forgotten his sins. He ruled for 6 months, and then, like a whisper in the wind, he was gone. Fabunmi did not die in battle. He was not killed by an enemy's sword. But in the end, he was betrayed by his people, by his own warriors, by the world that once cheered his name. Yet his blood oath remained. Let no man rule us as slaves. Let no tyrant live. Even in death, the storm he started never truly ended. His fire still burns in the hearts of warriors. His name still echoes in the wind. He was Fabunmi of Oke-Mesi, a king, a warrior, a storm, and his name will never be forgotten.